Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to another episode of Cheap Shot Culture. This is the third one in a week. We are smashing it.
What is up with us?
I don't know. Don't know what's going on. But yes, we've been away for so long, and then we're back. 3 videos in a week. Excellent. We forgot, or I genuinely forgot, that we'd done predictions in our last footy video. So it was you that reminded me that we needed to go over them. Bear in mind,
so
the quarterfinals already. Well, it's about to head to penalties. So spoiler alert, yeah. So cool. Before we go into it, as usual, links to our mates are in the description. And don't forget to subscribe and like if you could. Very much appreciated. Thank you. So was this a disaster?
Well, yeah, in a nutshell. We predicted the round of 16. There was the odd one where we did differently, and yeah, it just didn't work. We ended up getting the same amount right and wrong. So we both come out losers, or we both come out winners, depending on how you want to look at it.
Well,
so you got. Do you want me to just quickly run through what you got right and what I got wrong?
Yeah.
And vice versa. So, Wales and Denmark. Yourself had Denmark and I had Wales, so you won that one.
Right.
We both had Italy. We both went for the Netherlands, so that failed miserably. You had Portugal and I had Belgium, so then we were sort of level at that point. And from that, there was no turning back because we both had Croatia, failed miserably. We both had France, which I'm sure we'll get onto in a minute. We both had the mighty Three Lions, and then we both had Sweden. So the minute Belgium beat Portugal, it was all over, and none of us won.
See, this is what happens when you choose the countries that your United players play for. Basically, what I kind of like gone for in my guess.
Who did you have? Who plays for Denmark?
So Denmark was because of Christian Eriksen, so that's why I went.
Okay, Poor Dan James is crying somewhere now.
Yeah, no, and you could go with the Schmeichel connection, I suppose, even though I don't really like him.
Yeah.
Sweet. So, what was the first game of the first round of 16 then?
So it was Wales versus Denmark.
Right. Wales weren't great at all, really, were they?
No, they were poor, really poor. Yeah, but you know what? Fair play to Denmark. They've come back from obviously a terrible start on and off the pitch, so to speak. With obviously, like you said about Eriksen, and luckily, since I think the first video we made, he's made a recovery, which is fantastic. But yeah, they've come back from that poor start. And so far, they just seem going up and on the up and up, and don't seem like they're going to get beat.
So for me, Denmark was a bit like a bit of a Scotland. There's a makings of a good team there and a good tournament. They just needed that little bit of extra that Scotland never got, and they are going from strength to strength. So yeah, I'm pleased with that one. It wasn't a bad game either, was it?
No, I think Kasper Dolberg, who shouts out to me mate Adam, bought him on I think like a FIFA a few years ago when he was like still very young, and every year he bought him and he's like, you need to buy him. So it's quite funny now he's bagging 2 goals against Wales, and I'm like, oh my god, he was on FIFA. So yeah, it's quite funny, but it's just good to see a young player who actually shining again in a major tournament. So fair play to them. Probably handed Wales a new one, and like you said in the previous Euro episode, I'm not going to be ashamed to say I did kind of celebrate like I was Danish, and then instantly regretted it afterwards when I was like, oh my god, England haven't played yet. But we'll get on to that in a minute. But thank God they got through. But yeah, I'm pleased for Denmark, like you said, with the Christian Eriksen thing as well. I'm really pleased for them.
Yeah. They've always had a decent team throughout the years. So obviously they won it in '92 as well. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, sweet. So the next game was
Uh, Italy versus Austria. Austria. Yeah.
there was only ever really going to be one winner there, wasn't there?
There was, but I don't know if you watched it or not. They took them. I'm sure they went to extra
I
time.
think he did go into extra time. Yeah. But the Italians was always going to have that extra bit of uh, quality, really. Although
Yeah.
Arnautovic, I think, played really well.
Yeah,
Um,
well, they missed him, didn't they? In one of the games.
yeah, he scored in the previous game, and then but he did something, I think, and then he got banned for the next game.
Yeah, and it was that
Something
game
he
that they
said.
really, really missed him. Yeah, so it was.
Yeah.
I think he said something about one of the opposition players, and then they banned him for it. But he missed him in that game. Yeah.
So, but as I say, it was a no-brainer, really. You couldn't really see an upset there, could you?
No, on paper, 100% Italy. I was just surprised how far Austria took them.
Yeah, I don't. I think the quality of the teams has really improved. So inside in previous tournaments, you when you get to this stage, you knew he was going to win. It was quite obvious. But some of the games have been. It made you think a bit
Yeah,
because they were all teams. I mean, like here we are at the moment, Spain and Switzerland. Switzerland are, they're going to take Spain to penalties, former World Cup winners and former Euro winners. So
yeah.
yeah,
We'll touch upon Spain in a sec. I
we
think
will.
it's quite evident from our prediction from the Croatia game what our feelings are on Spain at the moment. But I think if you just flip on to the next one, so Netherlands versus Czech Republic, we both had Netherlands, and yeah, that didn't go too well for the boys
No,
in orange.
that was one I didn't expect at all. No, no. That was
But I think for me, there's been times where you see maybe a player get sent off, and it changes the dynamic probably for the team that's been who are down to 10 men because they rally around a bit more. But with the Netherlands, they just crumbled as soon as the lit got sent off.
yeah.
That was it, and you didn't see any other winner but Czech Republic. And I know he's come out and apologised, saying that because of him getting sent off led to them getting beat. But yeah, it was a shock result, but better for England.
But at the same, yeah. So at the same time, no fair play to the Czech Republic because again they played well. So
Yeah,
it's not like
deservedly so.
these teams that are going through. They're not scraping performances together. They're playing really well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you would. But again, history-wise, you'd expect so like the Netherlands to go through.
But obviously, since then, and we'll touch a bit after this, we'll get through these games quite quickly to get onto it. But obviously, with the Netherlands, obviously now Frank de Boer is stepped down, resigned from
Yes.
Netherlands.
Yeah.
There was a lot of controversy going into the tournament because he wanted to play a 4-2-3-1, where people in the Netherlands, especially players, when you look at who they played for, and Ajax player, PSV player, and stuff, they play a 4-3-3. And he goes to a major tournament and they're playing 4-2-3-1. It's just never going to work. But yeah, he stepped down, and it'd be interesting to see who takes over there. Will Rude, Big Rude in the back room staff, will he have a shot?
What, Van
Big Rude Van
Nistelrooy?
Nistelrooy. Yeah, he's in the back room. You're not seeing him on the sidelines. Every time I've seen him, go ahead, Rude, lad. That's all I was doing. But yeah,
That's a
it'd
good
be
shout, mate. I don't know. As you say, it'd be interesting to see who goes there next. So next game was
Portugal versus Belgium.
so this was one that potentially could have gone either way.
Yeah.
But again, so like the quality of the teams, it's no surprise really that Belgium went through, even though Ronaldo is obviously Portuguese, and has pretty much dragged them through this tournament so far. As much as I hate to say it, Bruno Fernandes has been non-existent since the tournament started.
Shame.
Good game as well, though.
Yeah, it was alright, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was one of them. Probably expected a little bit more. from it, if I'm being perfectly honest. More goals, I'd probably say, than a 1-0. But the goal was amazing. Really good finish to the game. Goal as well, Torgan Hazard. But did it come as a cost? Because, they're playing a bit later on today against Italy. But it looks like potentially they're going to be without. And actually, to be fair, I'm not going to go into full team news because I'm not into that stuff like that. But just to back up my point before I say it, so Kevin De Bruyne has actually been able to start. There was rumours that he wouldn't be able to, but it does look like Eden Hazard is injured, and it might be that could be at the tournament.
Yeah.
So did it come as a cost to them?
It was his hamstring, wasn't it? I think he did.
Yeah.
Sound.
But again, there was rumours that De Bruyne not starting. But when he's in, and Belgium got through, and then they ruined our predictions. So thank you, Belgium. Anyway, but thank you to Belgium, because otherwise, if Portugal won, then I'd been doing a forfeit. So thank you, Belgium. The next game was Croatia versus Spain. So spoilers, Spain got through.
Yeah. I've just gone to penalties.
I've just gone to pens.
Yeah,
So
they're a funny team, Spain, aren't they? One minute they look average, and the next minute you think, yeah, there's a team there. But I think it's because we don't really recognise the squad anymore, whereas past squads, you kind of like, it's either been Real Madrid and Barcelona players.
But even when you look at it now, you're looking at, there's a Pedri in midfield. Never heard of the guy, and people might say otherwise, but I've never heard of him. I look at the team, and the three best players he got on the pitch in my eyes from like big name wise, Azpilicueta, but that's probably just because he plays in the Prem.
Yeah.
Jordi Alba for being Jordi Alba, and obviously Busquets. But it's you go to the bench, and I'm looking at the bench now as we speak, and you've got David De Gea on the bench, and he's got the best of seasons at United, but Thiago's on the bench, Rodri, Adama Traore, you know what I mean? Get a bit of pace on the game when it's, especially when you need extra time, bring some pace on. But there's a funny team, but we'll see how they get on in the pens that they're currently about to take or are taking as we speak.
Not yet. I'll let
you know.
Don't worry, I'll keep you informed.
The next game, and I think this is going to take up a little bit of our time before we get on to England.
Should we save that one to last then?
Second to last, we'll do England last. So we're going to move on to Sweden and Ukraine. So
shall we save England to last? I think
England to last, and I think we do Sweden and Ukraine first. So obviously Ukraine came out the winners. Did you watch it?
No, I didn't. Didn't watch that one.
Okay. I put it on. I was sort of semi-watched it, semi-not. I was watching it, and obviously Sweden went down to 10 men. The dreaded going down to 10 men. It was a bad challenge. It was not nice to watch.
I've seen the challenge. It was awful. It was shocking, really.
Yeah. So rightfully so, went down to 10 men, and the last kick out, or sort of like the last attack of the extra time, second half of the extra time, did Ukraine get the winner? Obviously, again, big bonus for England, which we'll get on to the fact that they've had to go into extra time. So, recoveries are a bit later, they played a bit longer, so, that'll only play into England's hands. But, fair play to them, Shevchenko, manager, Ukraine legend. So, yeah, it's nice to see, again, a team like that getting through. Obviously, just unlucky for the likes of Lindelof, who probably played really well this tournament. But
it's had a good tournament. Yeah. He has. I've been pleased.
But I think for me, Sweden are missing that Zlatan big name. They're missing that. Sweden. Oh, something's happened in the Switzerland.
Payne's missed the first penalty.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Jesus
sorry.
Christ. Okay, so I think we move on to probably the biggest shock of the tournament so far. France versus Switzerland. Now, we had France down for the winner. I heard a story yesterday of someone putting £100 on France to win. 4-1, would have won 400 quid, and they got beat.
In their probably worst performance of the tournament so far as well.
The first half, they were shocking.
Yeah, they were.
For me, that just came down to formation. They tried to match Switzerland for playing 5 at the back, 2 in midfield.
Yeah.
You can't play Paul Pogba in a 2 in midfield like that and expect them to run the game. Kante looked like he was struggling. Mbappe, and we'll get onto his penalty miss in a minute, but he's not looked the player he should be in this tournament. He's not looked the best. Looks like he's going down too easily.
Finishing.
But then they swapped. Yeah, and then they got in at half time, come back out, switch formations, and they looked amazing.
It was the Pogba show.
Oh, it was unbelievable. They got 3-1. Benzema with one really good goal, really good touch. Obviously, quite a bit lucky, but you have to be in there to score for the second. And then Paul Pogba hit an unbelievable strike, and then they just crumbled.
Yeah, I think if I remember right, Pogba was at fault for their third. He gave the ball away in midfield, which he does do. It's something he is known for. He's done it with us for a few times.
But then, did you see after the game, Rabiot's mother? I think it's Rabiot, who's also his agent, was in the crowd and started kicking off at Paul Pogba's mum and someone else's mum because of the players.
No way.
Switzerland just missed as well.
Switzerland just missed, yeah. So it's all square on pens.
So it's Rabiot's mum. Mental.
Swiss played well, though.
No, yeah.
They did.
They still got through.
They really did. Definitely.
So I was pleased for them. Really good pens, though. Up to Mbappe's pen, they were really good pens. And there was one that Lloris should have saved.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was. And at the same time, I don't necessarily think that Mbappe's another save, Spain penalty. I don't think Mbappe's was that bad. I just genuinely think it was a good save from the keeper. On another day, that penalty's going in.
But you know what? Again, bonus for England. And let's get on to England. So, I'm going to start this off. And I'm not going to talk about the game. I'm going to talk about the result and you, Philip.
Okay.
So, prior to the tournament starting, I was sat here and we've had many a text, many a talk, where I've gone, I think England could win this. I think England could at least get to the final. I think they're going to do well. And your answer was, no, I'm just going to settle for no more heartbreak. We're not going to do it. We're not that good, blah, blah, blah. England then beat Germany. You messaged me saying, it's coming home.
This is what happens. This is what they do to me. So I'm old enough to remember Italia 90, another Swiss pen save. These penalties are shocking, by the way. I'm old enough to remember Italia 90. I'm old enough to remember not qualifying for World Cups, Euro 96. Obviously, it's 2006 with the goal that never was and all that kind of stuff. England just break your heart.
Joke that.
It was. But England just break your heart. And I was determined this time, I'm not going to get carried away. Whatever happens, happens. But then you beat Germany convincingly.
Yeah. And that's it for me. It's the convincingly. Yes, there was times where Germany looked threatening, probably different to other games. But apart from that Muller chance, I never sat there and thought. Apart from, I think it was a free kick in the first half. And for me, it wasn't a free kick. I think Goretzka stuck his leg up across Declan Rice. Yeah. And I said to me, this is going to go in this. It was the only time, apart from the moment that I thought something was going to happen. But England defended really well. Maguire was outstanding. Yeah. Looked really up for the game.
When's he going to start getting the credit he deserves?
Probably until he stops playing for being the captain and stops playing for Man United. I'm going to guess Switzerland or Spain have just missed the next pen.
Switzerland are just this one's more like the back garden, I think.
Yeah, I think it's when he stops playing for Man United.
Yeah,
Simple as. I think people, it's easy to jump on. I think, maybe I'm thinking this as a United fan. There'll be Liverpool fans out there that'll be saying the same about like maybe Thiago, but Bruno Fernandes has 5 really good games, goes missing in one, and everyone's going, "Oh my god, he can't score pens." Yeah. Thiago was signed as a Champions League winner and went missing for 3/4 of the season.
Yeah.
And there's that aspect of it, but you know what? He was unbelievable. John Stones looked decent. Luke Shaw again with an assist. Kyle Walker is looking decent. I think Trippier as well looked all right, getting forward. Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips keep proving people wrong, but I think there'll be at least one of them out of the game against Ukraine, just in case.
Spoiler alert, Spain are through.
Oh!
Yeah.
With the worst penalty shootout in Euro history.
Worst one I've seen so far in this tournament, anyway. I think for me, I think since Luke Shaw's come into the team, he's just an exceptional player, and I wish Mourinho would just do one and just leave him alone. He's obsessed with the guy. He should be obsessed with the guy because he's the best left back in the world. Yeah. Saying it. Yeah. Best left back in the world. I'm having that.
He's unbelievable. And you know what? Sterling proving people wrong. Like, I don't like the guy, but oh my god, like that guy deserves a knighthood if we win the Euros. Like,
when you sort of like you looked at the squad and you're thinking to yourself, who's going to get your goals? I never expected Sterling to be top scorer for us.
I'll be honest with you, mate. When the squad was announced, not just the actual team sheets, but when the squad was announced, I was, why is Sterling looking like, why is Sterling? I don't know, it sounds stupid, but why is Sterling even in the squad? He can't get in the Man City squad. He was woeful in the Champions League final. Why is he even going when you've got the likes of Greenwood and pulling out? But Greenwood, Sancho, Calvert-Lewin, Saka, Grealish, Foden, Mount. Yeah. These people on paper should be above them, but you know what? He's out there to prove people wrong, and at the moment he's doing it.
He is. Long may it continue for England, and we shall see what happens tomorrow.
Yep. So I think very quickly before we move on to just a few little bits of sports and news that have come out over the past since the last video, I think it's only right that we quickly do it. So we know Spain. So we're not going to do Spain versus Switzerland because
I was going to say let's leave it till the semis, as we're already.
Okay.
So by the time this goes out, Spain will be through, and potentially
Belgium or
Italy. So we'll reconvene this at the semis, I think, which I think that's a good idea.
So I think for me now, Philip, I think it's only time that we do a news alert. Boom, 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 and we touch upon a little bit of news that has come out of late. So first of all, a few managerial changes. Finally, Tottenham have finally got a manager. So Nuno has moved to Tottenham. Rafael Benitez has gone to the blue side of Merseyside. There's rumours.
The second man in history to manage both teams.
Who's first?
Oh, yeah, it was some guy from like the 1890s or something like that, I think.
I was thinking this a long time ago if it ever happened. I know like players and assistant managers, obviously Sammy Lee and stuff, but I didn't know. So you've had that. Don't know if it's been confirmed yet, but Patrick Vieira becoming the Crystal Palace manager.
I think it's been confirmed.
It's been confirmed?
Yeah.
Okay. Scott Parker is the Bournemouth manager.
Didn't get that one.
Yeah, and not confirmed yet, but there's rumours Marco Silva is the new Fulham manager. He's going to Fulham.
Both Fulham and Bournemouth are championship teams, so I don't get why leave Fulham, who did all right at times in the Prem last season. I think there was a basis to build on there. So I don't understand that one. But is what it is. I think Marco Silva's
Yeah,
a decent manager as well, so I'm sure
yeah,
he'll
very
do
much.
well.
Patrick Vieira, thoughts?
He's making Roy Keane his assistant.
Well, I know I mentioned to you about doing like a sort of managerial special, but I want to quickly touch upon it now. For me, it's really strange to start seeing managers that I've watched play when I was younger. You know, you've got Lampard, Gerrard,
Yeah,
Rooney, Vieira, Roy Keane's done it in the past. It's just weird to see this now breed of younger managers coming through. You know, Solskjaer, how to forget Ollie. We're watching these players come through
yeah.
to take these managers. It's just really strange, and I really do hope Roy Keane gets into management just to see those two on the touchline.
Imagine
Roy
Roy
Keane
Keane.
manager, Micah Richards assistant.
Yeah, that is exactly what I was going to say. Right, let's talk about the most important thing that's happened this week, please.
Okay, so
Finally,
since the last video, if you watched the Euro
finally.
special, we started the video by saying since the last video, which is over a month ago, United haven't signed anyone. In the space of a week, United have signed 2 players, re-signed someone to a contract, and rumours of signing another player. So first of all, Tom Heaton finally confirmed, as we sort of mentioned on the last video, but he's officially
That had
confirmed
been known
today.
for a while, hadn't it? I think they were actually
Yeah.
just wait till July.
Mata re-signing the contract for another year.
Yeah, I'm pleased with that.
Yeah, that was announced today. I don't know if you've seen, there's a picture on the website where he looks like he's wearing the new top. It's not. It's like a retro one, but it looks like he's wearing the new kit. It's quite funny.
Did you see what Bruno Fernandes says?
No.
He said I'll have to wait another year now for the number 8 shirt.
I think that's going to happen anyway, I think.
I think so, yeah.
And then I want you to do your finally again.
Finally.
Man United have agreed in principle. Let's just say that. Agreed in principle the signing of Jadon Sancho.
Woo!
Thoughts?
I'm really, really happy with it. Not just because we're signing a class player, but the fact that this is the first time I can remember for a long time that United have not had the pants pulled down by another club over paying. And my dad says this for years and years and years. It's been the same since he was a kid watching in the 60s and the 70s. Anytime United come knocking for a player, the money goes up. And they've stuck to the guns. They've got the deal they wanted, and they've got the player that they wanted. I can't. I'm made up with it. To be fair, I think it's a great piece of business on every front. What do you think?
Yeah, and I think Gary Neville mentioned that not so long before the season ended, when they were touching upon what Man United needed and stuff, and he said, "Yeah, it was disappointing not to see us sign Jadon Sancho in the summer last year, but."
Yeah,
could we class it as the best piece of business going if we sign him this season for half the price, or I think it's like 30 million less than what they wanted last year. So I'm really pleased with it. Already seems to have a good relationship, obviously, with the likes of Rashford anyway.
Yeah,
which is only going to help.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Number 7.
Rumours, yeah. So what do you think is going to happen with Cavani then? Because I think he'll leave.
Yeah, you mentioned this the other day. You seem to think that we signed him so we could sell him. I'm not having that.
Yeah.
If that happens, I'll be furious. I can't see it.
I think there's rumours that Roma, Mourinho wants to take him over to Italy, back to Italy and play for Roma. Obviously, there's always that rumour going back to from Uruguay, but going to South America again and playing over there. I think if the number changes, that's a big indicator, unless Martial goes and then the number 9 comes free. But again, to be fair, there's not many rumours of United players leaving.
No.
Which is strange, but probably rightfully so when you see the performances of like Martial. Why would anybody want to sign him? There's not many rumours of players going in the other direction, but
no.
We finally looks like we're signing him. Obviously, also be done after or whenever England go at the Euros, whether that's tomorrow, fingers crossed not, or on the 11th of July when we lift that trophy. It'll be happen. That's when it'll be fully confirmed, like signed, deal, done, pictures and whatnot. And then there's rumours that we're interested in Varane from Real Madrid as well.
I think there's weight in this rumour as well. I think from what I've been reading on Twitter, he wants to join.
Yeah, he wants to leave Real, but will Real let him with Ramos going out on free?
I think player power is that big now that clubs just aren't going to keep a player that doesn't want to be there. I mean, you can talk about Kane and Daniel Levy saying he's not going anywhere. Yes, he will. He will go because he does not want to play there anymore. Sancho wanted to play for us. He wanted to sign for us. You're not going to keep a player that's going to be unhappy.
And to be fair, I think you're with that and what you just said there, from there's weight to what you just said there. So I think I sent it to you in work because I've seen it. And let me just double check if I can quickly find it. So it came from a very reliable source on the Twitter, the Fabrizio Romano. I think we touched upon him last week. Yeah, just somehow, for some reason, knows everything.
Yeah.
I think he knows I'm having for me tea before I even know what I'm having for me tea. He's that good. But he tweeted out, Borussia Dortmund CEO, I'm not saying his name, confirms that there's an agreement with Manchester United for Sancho. It was Jadon's express wish to change. We would have liked to keep him. We are not happy about the money, but sad that he's leaving. So that sums it up. He wanted to leave. They had no other choice, and yeah, he's now a Man United. Well, an agreed in principle Manchester United.
It's the medical, isn't it, that's holding it up?
Yeah.
Which is obviously he's not going to do it in the moment. So I've no doubts that'll go through fine, no problem. And he'll be number 7 at the start of the season. I think we need to get some pre-season game tickets, don't we?
Yeah, for this Derby, QPR,
Everton.
Brentford and Everton. Yeah, I wouldn't mind it.
Exciting times for United fans.
Yeah, so I think that probably wraps it up. Before we go, prediction for tomorrow?
We're going to win.
Going to win? Going to put a scoreline on it? You're just going to say win?
2-1.
2-1. I'm going to go for 2-0. I'm going to keep faith that back four, and Jordan Pickford can keep a clean sheet again. Not conceded a goal yet, even though my heart was in my mouth for when Muller got through.
Is he England's player of the tournament so far?
He's been unbelievable, but then he really been. He's been tested, but not as much as probably other
everything he's had to do. He's done well, and you've watched games for Everton, and he's looked shaky and looks like there's a mistake in him. He's been solid. I'm pleased about that as well because I genuinely do think he's a good keeper. And
I think he's performed really well. Fingers crossed they do it again tomorrow night. I'll be there watching it, supporting them, watching them hopefully bring it home. And a potential Czech Republic or Denmark, I think, is in the next round after that if we get through. So looking rosy, I think I said to you, if we get to the semis, we get to the final, just with the fan support. So fingers crossed we do it. We're over in Rome. Fingers crossed, no fans, but bring it home, boys.
Absolutely. Cheers, mate. We shall see you guys for our semi-final update, and I'm sure there'll be a wrestling video in between that as well. So thank you for watching. See you soon. Cheers, mate. See you later.
See you later.